Welcome back to the channel. Doing the first project in the new shop. And I gotta get this old car hauler ready for another 5 years of use because, well, let's face it, new trailers cost more than my first truck. This trailer has definitely seen some better days. We got significant wood rot. Yeah, right there. Just get that out of the way. Also, under this new wood is some more wood rot that's really bad. For some reason, it didn't really rot out where I load my projects. Oh, here's another spot. Yep. So anyway, I got with my buddy who works at Builder's First Source. He got me these 20-foot long. That's going to be the perfect replacement for these boards. They're also pressure treated, and I'm gonna do some kind of sealer on it. I'm actually thinking about just using motor oil because I have like gallons of that stuff laying around. We're gonna service the hubs. This only has trailer brakes on one axle, so I might upgrade and do trailer brakes on both axles. And we're gonna make sure that the axle tubes and everything are in good shape because this trailer has a pretty significant bow to it. If you sight down, can you see down there? It's really hard to see on camera, but right about where that first axle is, it starts to dip down. And that's actually from overloading the trailer. You see, this trailer is only rated for like 7,000 pounds total. The trailer itself weighs probably 1,500, so I could really get away with like towing 5,500 pounds. And I towed not only my OBS dually, but also my square body dually with this thing. And that was well beyond the maximum trailer limit. Well, I'm not gonna be doing that anymore, but I am gonna go through and make sure everything is solid. Now, also some things that happen to the trailer just over years of use is these inside panels have fallen out. I don't think I'm gonna replace them, but I think I'm just gonna stiffen up the fender itself. I've already upgraded to LED trailer lights. I got these buddies off of Amazon. They're actually really nice and bright. Never had an issue with them. Another thing I want to do is I got new tires coming. I'm going to try to swap those out on my own. And we got to figure out something with this tire mount because I let somebody borrow my trailer and, well, they turned the spare tire mount into a little pretzel. First things first, let's go ahead and get this lumber off of the trailer so we can start assessing the damage and figuring out what fasteners we're going to use to put the new lumber on and start getting everything cut up. Also, I was gonna do a fresh paint job on this, but I am on a budget, and just between the lumber and tires, I'm in this refresh over 700 bucks. That's right, just for tires and lumber to refresh a trailer, 700 bucks. Woo, it's loud. We got some Torx fasteners here holding the wood slats down. Did that break? Yep, sure did. That broke too. I think it's going to be a reoccurring theme on this. Yep, that broke. Yeah. Looks like most of the wood rot's isolated to where the fasteners went through the boards. So I'm gonna see if I can think of a better way to seal those up, at least a little bit, to help it last a little longer. Chad, you proud of me? I'm using the ball peen hammer. Oh my gosh, these are heavy. Oh. Well, I went ahead and hit these cross braces with a wire wheel, and I'm not really liking what I see. There's a little more rust and pitting than I'd like. If you could see that, one of them up here's pretty nasty, just where the water's falling between the boards and then sits on the metal and then it just corrodes. So not a big fan of this product right here, Pour 15, but it's what I got. There are other rust specific paints that are a lot better. SEM makes one. I like Eastwood's Rust Encapsulator. I've put that stuff to the test. It works really well. Most of these paints are UV sensitive. So keep that in mind. If you're gonna paint, like say we're gonna paint the trailer with it, then we need to make sure we top coat it with something that's not UV sensitive. But what I'm gonna do is, just because I have this little quart, is go in all these areas where the boards are gonna sit that you're not gonna be able to get to, and we're gonna go ahead and coat those for peace of mind, because I don't want these to get any worse. So I already hit, like I said, I already hit it with a wire wheel. I'm gonna go back over it with a flat disc just to kind of knock off any of the big stuff, and then just literally brush this stuff right on and then probably throw it in the garbage. I've had this can sitting on the shelf for years, so who knows if it's even still good. Probably is. Also doing like a inspection of the frame here. It's got a slight buckle, kind of dips down, probably because of having all that dually weight back here, but there's no cracking, which is nice. These axle tubes look like they're in good shape. I don't see any cracking like at the hub. Same thing over here, don't see any cracking at the hub. Got some cheap bristle brushes from Ace Hardware. I like to try to pull some of the bristles out before I stick it in there. Not that it matters, but it's a good habit to get into. This should get full coverage in one coat. You really shouldn't have to go crazy on this stuff. Let's start with 218.5. See where that gets us. Woo. Yep. So we got that. It's gonna go right there. Okie dokie. The way I want to attach them is not from the top. I do believe I will put some kind of screw in here to secure this like end cap in place. But what I would like to do is go ahead and drill through these supports and go in from the bottom with some stainless fasteners so that water isn't pooling and penetrating basically penetrating the wood. Words are hard today. And that should help this last significantly longer than what it has. I mean, 5 years out of a wooden deck with pressure treated wood's not terrible, but I feel like I could squeeze a little more out of it, especially considering I did not ever do any kind of sealer or treatment on this. I got the trailer and just put it right to use. So doing some kind of sealer on the wood's definitely gonna help. I'm telling you guys and gals, I really think I'm gonna do motor oil on this. Well, I'm trying to get this all to work without ripping it down. Not a big deal if I have to, but I like to come up with random challenges for myself. So this is so close to going in on its own. All right, it's not gonna work. We're gonna rip it. There goes that battery. Well, I gotta run to the other shop because I left the battery charger over there with some batteries and some other tools. And I gotta go pick up the kids and run to the store and, do all that stuff too. So it looks like this project is gonna be on hold for a minute, at least for me. There we go. Let's go down this way a little bit. Woo, dropped right in place. Believe it or not, many years ago, I wanted to be a woodworker, and I realized I just hate sawdust. Anyway, this is the fastener that we're using. It's a 1.75 inch flathead deck screw. You can't even see it. 1.75 inch flathead deck screw. Now I know a lot of y'all are saying, wait a minute, man, that's a 2x10, so it's 1.5 inches deep. Well, this flathead screw is gonna hang down past the bracing. You see right here, if we can get it in focus, maybe I'll turn it this way, get my little pin. So this is actually gonna hang down past the trailer bracing under there. So we're gonna have plenty of material hanging down that's gonna grab the wood, and then the tip's not gonna bust through. And you know what, if it does, just hit it with a little grinder. All right, I'm gonna slide under here and screw all these boards down on this, this brace that's right under here, and then line up our dovetails so you got a nice ramp. It's almost there. You know, just gotta make a couple minor adjustments, and then these pieces just screw through the top into the wood, which I really don't wanna do because that's where it seems like most of the boards got rotted out, but you know, I don't really see another way to secure that on there. It looks pretty good to me. All right, now I'm just gonna go to the bottom, do the same thing I did right here, except screw in the front and back of each board and then come back in, install our little trim piece and screw the rest of the deck down and we're done. We're done with that part. Was gonna go ahead and do a trailer brake upgrade to have both axles to have trailer brakes. Got to Tractor Supply Company, and it'd be $500 to do that upgrade. I could probably do some cheapies off Amazon, but I don't need it right now, so I'm gonna save on that for the future because I'm already $700 into this trailer upgrade, and to be honest, I don't think I've ever really needed the extra trailer brake axle. It would be nice to have, especially with the projects I have coming to the channel that's gonna be towing this trailer. So now I could focus on doing some other little upgrades I've been chewing around in my brain. Now you notice here, I got my tires off because I wanted to kind of see if they would fit right here, because I got 2 spares for this trailer and I only have 1 spare mount. But if you look at this one, I think I showed you at the beginning of the video, somebody borrowed my trailer and freaking whacked a tree and just bent this all up. And I've always kind of not really liked the spare tire being in one of these pockets. Oh look, he bent my stake pocket a little bit too. Not a big deal. So I got all this extra like 1-inch bar stock that I've had laying around. Actually, when we had our storage unit, a guy was moving out and he had this huge like 1x1 square tube cage he used as a display. I think he had like a bathroom remodeling company and he would come in and put like a, you know, 1-day shower or whatever it was. So he was like, do you want this? And I'm like, dude, where am I gonna put that? It was huge. It was like 8 foot tall, massive. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. It's free metal, right? So I ended up cutting it all down and hanging on to it for something exactly like this. So the plan here is to use this 1x, and it'll land about there. And we're gonna make a couple little cubbies. So here's my fancy CAD drawing. It's 11 3/4 inch deep, 59 inches wide. And here's our cut list. I'm also probably gonna cap off the tubes, scuff her down, paint it black, and that'll just be like a really nice little, a little upgrade, you know? I don't know how I feel about having my spare tires just available to pull out of these little cubbies, but I figured if I could put it in there, they'll stay in there, and then I can, you know, put a cable around it or a chain if I need to. And if somebody really wants them, they're gonna get them anyway. Got everything set up here on my fancy, my work table and my, you know, metalworking tools. I'm also gonna build like a little, I guess, frame under here out of 1x material. Basically just goes down to the frame, welds onto the frame, goes up, goes over, goes down, and you have a brace in the middle. Kind of basically like this. I'm gonna leave this overhanging just a little bit, a little out further past the edge of the tubing here, because I'm gonna cap this off with some sheet metal. Something like that right there. That's pretty much what I'm going for right there. So you just take your tire. Heck yeah, dude, that's freaking sweet. So even though these tires are technically the same size, they're 205/75 15s, this one's a little fatter and a little taller, so it doesn't move around as much. This one, it's a little skinnier and not quite as tall. So keep that in mind if you're gonna do something like this. You can't make it super tight because all these tires are just a little bit different. I actually got another one right here. It's probably gonna be even taller. I think this is the tallest one I got. Oh, that fits good. Yeah, but it's still definitely not as wide as that tire. Doesn't matter, it fits. That's what she's gonna look like right there, fellas and fellettes. So I'm gonna come back through, finish welding everything, then grind off the paint here, weld this to the actual trailer, block off all the ends because I don't want moisture getting in here. Samesies with these, just cap everything off. Paint it, and then this will be done. Got these little guys welded up, something like that. There were a couple of cracked areas, so I welded those up, same thing on that side, and actually stiffened it up quite a bit, but I think I'm still gonna do this. So this is what we got for our tire holder. But yeah, man, got it, everything blocked off there. I just remember this is the first time I'm using the welder in the new shop. It's working great. I like having the extra space to like walk around stuff. And like I would be doing this in my driveway if I was still in the other shop because I wouldn't be able to weld in the parking lot and stuff over there. But here I can just pull the trailer right in and do what I gotta do. All right, let's get this thing burned in here. Well, good morning. I spent the evening last night finishing prepping out these parts, getting them painted and whatnot. See, we got our stuff all painted up, put my winch back on. Some of y'all might be wondering how I did this. So I did this like years ago, and it looks like it's just bolted to the wood, but it's not, I promise. So if you go under here, see there's a 2x6 that goes across quite a few of these planks. And it's actually, this is an angle bracket right here. So this piece of wood is sitting right up against this piece of angle bracket. So it's catching the wood. The winch is bolted through the angle bracket. And then you spread the load out over all of these boards right here. And it actually works really well. I actually I actually winched up not only my OBS dually, but also my crew cab square body dually. So that little 5,000-pound winch with that setup does really well. I'm actually very surprised. A little cheapy Badland winch from like Harbor Freight. And now it's time to tackle the next piece of the puzzle. So these are those braces that I made up for the fenders. So I went ahead and drilled through the fender for some plug welds, ground off where they're gonna be here, hit them with some weld-through primer. So those legs are gonna come down here on the inside of the frame, ground that, hit it with some weld-through. Same with up there, just hit it with some weld through after I ground it down. Well, I'm trying to get a little bit better at welding. So I was looking at my welds from yesterday and comparing them to like, I don't know, you can just find pictures on the internet of like what you did wrong with your weld. And it looks like the heat and everything was fine, but I was going a little too fast. So what I'll go ahead and do is slow her down a little bit and savor that moment. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna shove this in here, get her tacked up, and then get her burned in. All right, well, let's see how bad we screw this up. Should have worn my boots today. Oh man, that hurt. Well, dadgum, that actually doesn't look too bad. So it's probably the worst one. I had a big blob like for a tack right there. And then as I worked down, it kind of got a little bit better. So over here, this bottom section's looking actually pretty freaking good. Just like, again, I had a globby tack up top, which kind of goofed that up. And then I lost my rhythm on the bottom there, but that's looking good. And this one's probably the best. It's, you know, not beautiful, but it's definitely probably some of the better welds that I've laid down ever. I'll take that, dude. That's awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop on the other side, knock that out, and then go on to the next step. Now we got both sides burned in there. I'll come back and hit it with some touch-up paint later. Went ahead and just started prepping the deck to put on our oil. So not really much prep, just hit it with 220 on a DA. And let's see. Yep, that'll do. Some 1030. Now you gotta make sure it's synthetic oil. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter. I've actually never done this before, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. That looks pretty cool. I have no idea how long this is gonna last, but this has gotta be better than just leaving the deck untreated. We'll just keep going at it here. I might hit it with 2 coats. I'm sure this first coat will probably soak up a lot. Just put 2 coats of oil on this bad boy, and man, she is looking slick. Now, I know some of y'all are gonna be like, dude, it's gonna be way too slick to be able to load a car up on or walk on, but don't worry, because that oil is gonna soak right on down into the wood, and you won't even know it's motor oil in a day or 2. Okay, moving on. We got to swap our tires over. You know, paying more attention to the finances and how much money goes into the channel to make these projects happen. I'm realizing that, well, prices have gone up quite a bit in the last couple of months. And I'm trying to figure out as many ways as possible to save a buck or 2. So you can swap your own trailer tires over at the house if you want to. It is not easy to do, but it's a great workout. And hey, it'll save you, maybe 100, 150 bucks. Good thing about the trailer tires is you don't have to balance them, which is great. So we're just gonna throw these new tires on, but we gotta figure out how to take off the old tire. Well, the first thing we gotta do is take out our Schrader valve so we can get all the air out of this tire. Now next we gotta break this bead, and this is pretty tough to do without a tire machine. You can't get one of these like crow's feet from Harbor Freight that's supposed to slide in here. But if you want an even easier way, you kick this block out the way, slide your tire up under your trailer. Boom. There it goes. You want to make sure that the tire is seated down into the most inner part of the wheel. You see the wheel kind of goes in like this. You want that bead to be in that, let's call it a channel. And we can start popping off our tire. Okay. Now, we'll flip it over. Kind of the same thing. You want that bead to be in that lowest part of the wheel. And we'll come in here, start getting our rim out. Once you get about halfway, it should come right out. These tires are not directional and they don't have a mark on them where to line them up with the valve stem. So if you are doing like a set of car tires, you want to pay attention to that. These are trailer tires, we're not balancing them. They're either direction. We could throw it on just like this. So let's go ahead and we'll lube it up a little bit. It's just soap and water. I don't have any tire jelly. I need some tire jelly. So kind of the same deal. You want to start getting this tire into this channel right here. So, oh, oops. We need it to start working its way in. There we go. Slide this spoon in, not too deep. All right, so now I got that. I'm gonna flip it over, start walking it in. You'll notice when I started taking the tire off, I was face down and flipped it over, face out, pull it out, and then I'm doing the opposite. I guess you could do it the other way if you wanted to. This is just the way I did it on this one. Oh, there we go. Woo! All right. I told you it's not an easy job, but save you a couple bucks. I have tried every way I have available to me in here to get the bead to set on these tires. I've tried to leave the Schrader valve out to have as much air going in as possible to try to set the bead. I've tried the ratchet strap where you ratchet strap around, tighten it up, and then try to set the bead. Nothing is working. Using the old school starting fluid method, definitely don't recommend it, but it's a last resort if you have to. The highly dangerous, don't try this at home method. Give her a couple squirts. Well, it's like not a whole lot. There you go. Don't worry about that. So I'm leaving the valve stems out of here because as you saw, like the air pressure changes quite a bit. I did have problems with one, and I put the Schrader valve back in. Like that wasn't enough. I'm running out of juice. Oh, almost. All right, the rear bead, the inside bead's set. I think we'll be okay. I think we can get that one to set. Let's put our Schrader valve back in. I'll try another trick here. Set this tire down, set this one on top of it. See if I can get the rim to go down a little deeper. Oh yeah, there she goes. We gonna get a pop? No pop on that one. Yeah, and this one fully set, so we'll just air that sucker up. Man, that goes right in there. That is so handy to have these spare tires easily accessible and out of the way. When I had that spare tire mount right here, it was hard to see where my fender was if I was trying to back up or something. So now these are out of the way. It's a lot safer. And like I said before, I'll probably wrap a cable around these with a lock or something just to secure them. But I mean, as they sit, they're not going anywhere. And also, ladies and gentlemen, don't let the sweat fool you. This isn't super hard to do. If you're pretty capable, pretty active, you can do this. It is challenging, but it's also a really good talent to know how to do. I am drenched in sweat because I am in my new shop and I don't have AC here. And I can't run a shop fan because it's too loud for the audio. So I have to deal with it till I can install some ceiling fans to get some air circulating. But I've probably sweat, I don't know, maybe a gallon or so this week. The last thing I gotta do are the wheel bearings. They aren't in right now, but they should be any minute. And as soon as they come in, we'll finish up this project. Oh, let's paint these fenders. Well, wheel bearings came in. This is a pretty decent set from Amazon. You got your inner and outers. Comes with some new cotter pins, washers, all that fun stuff. You got your seal right there. So these are really pretty much exactly set up like a car. We're gonna knock off our dust cover here, pull out our cotter pin, take off our nut, and then this will slide right off and we'll be able to knock out the seal and the races for the bearings. Also, this is basically gonna be exactly the same. I'm just gonna focus on one, so we'll just take this off. But it's gonna be the same thing, knock off your dust cover, cotter pin, castle nut, slide it off, knock the bearing races out, and then throw them back in. I mean, dude, it's like ridiculously simple. This is something that you're definitely gonna wanna pay attention to, because if you've ever had a wheel bearing failure, it makes for a very bad day. A blowout's not a big deal. You get a wheel bearing seize up on the side of the road, it's a bad day, dude. Especially if this thing's loaded down with something that doesn't run, and it just gets to be a whole mess. Also broke down and turned on the old shop fan because it's just too hot in here to not be running one. So y'all are just gonna have to deal with it. Now, if you're gonna be reusing your bearings, this outer bearing is gonna fall right out of the hub assembly. So you wanna try to catch it. Got my little vise set up here so I can knock out this race. I'm just gonna take a punch and the Chad. Just knock this daggum thing out of there. We got that out. Now do the samesies on this side. All right, we got the race all the way to the edge here. So to send her home, we're gonna put it on the vise right there. There she goes. We're gonna set this first race with our tool. So we'll set her in right there. There we go. We gotta pack our bearing. I just like doing it the old school way. I like to flip it over and then just make sure that we got grease coming through the backside too. The only thing that sucks about doing it this way is it just makes a huge mess. Now we're gonna put in our seal here. Just gonna use a larger bearing race tool die. I'm gonna put in this one. Greased up wheel bearing. Put a little lube on there. Got your washer. Castle nut. Tighten her down. No wobble. We got some resistance when we move it, and our cotter pin hole, let's use a new one, is lined up, so it should drop right in. So these have a grease fitting right here, and there's a little hole in the back of the spindle where the grease will come through. So we'll top her off just to play it safe. Okay, put on our dust cover. And she is done. Look at that. Man, this thing's looking brand freaking new. Let's get it off these jack stands and see what she looks like on the ground. Uh-oh. Woo! Heck yeah, dude. Man, this thing is like 10 times better. Love that I got the new tires on there. Looking fresh. Got the motor oil sealed on the old deck here. We'll see how long this lasts. It's still got a little bit of soaking in to do. A little bit about right there, some right there. But this is gonna be freaking rad, man. And really pumped about getting these fenders shored up, because man, they would bounce around and flop all over the place. I'm hoping the new tires too maybe take some shake out of it. But I think the thing I was looking forward to the most was this freaking tire holder. How nice is it to have everything out of the way, easy to get to, and just like looks clean, doesn't interfere with any of this stuff. Freaking love it, man. I got the trailer done, not a moment too soon. Literally gonna clean up the shop and head out to go pick up a new project for the channel, as if I don't have enough things to do. I'm not even moved in yet, and I'm bringing in new junk. Anyway, guys and gals, let me know in the comments below if you would give your trailer a refresh, or if you just say, screw it and go buy a brand new one. Because I'll admit, it would be very nice to have a new trailer right now, but everything's just astronomically expensive. Anyway, guys and gals, as always, I appreciate y'all hanging around and watching these videos. I'll see you in the next one.